Уважаемые граждане России.
With his most prominent opponents either dead, in jail or in exile, Vladimir Putin's landslide victory in Russia's recent presidential election was one of 2024's less surprising events.
We don't have a full picture of forgery of those elections.
Orysia Lutsevych is a Ukrainian author and Russia expert with the UK think tank Chatham House. She says the scale of electoral manipulation is staggering, but it also provides a clue to the level of hidden dissatisfaction within Russia.
Some of the Russian independent statistics analysts saying as many as 30 million votes may have been manufactured in support of Putin. So on one hand, Putin clearly knows that he struggles actually to rally people around his war agenda. So that is in itself an information for him of how much he has to, inside Russia, screw up the repressions against any kind of dissent.
Vladimir Putin is now the longest-serving Russian or Soviet leader since Joseph Stalin. So what will this victory, rigged as it may be, mean for Russian society and for the war in Ukraine?
Putin often speaks the truth in his strange way. He did plan this war as the special military operation on a kind of a limited footing, but now I think what we hear is that he has put Russia on the full war footing, increasing defense spending, increasing military production. That military production fuels economy so that there are jobs and people get paid, increasing dependency on China, building this alliance of China, Iran, North Korea, Russia. And it's not up to Putin alone, but if China is feels ejected from Western markets, and if Trump takes more as a future president, let's say, anti-Chinese move, then that alliance can strengthen and China can provide more military assistance to Russia.
With Russian losses in Ukraine now exceeding 300,000 dead or injured, the Kremlin needs more troops. Empowered by his re-election, Vladimir Putin could order another partial mobilization. But Orysia Lutsevych said that process has never really stopped.
He will continue with mobilization, and one of the most recent decisions was actually to incorporate the Cossack formations, which were previously these kind of paramilitary, ex-veteran affiliated organizations into Russian armed forces. So he is scraping people at this stage wherever and whenever he can to replenish his combat force.
Orysia believes Vladimir Putin will continue to play the long game, waiting for NATO's unity on Ukraine to falter. He'll attempt to undermine the EU with disinformation and meddle in this November's US presidential election, at the same time as courting relations with China, India and the global south. The West, she believes, needs to take the threat of Russia far more seriously.
This year is critical on how we recalibrate Western strategy from, I would say, this permanent escalation management that dominates decision-making to actually winning this war. And if we are serious about it, like UK leadership says, like now French leadership says, that it's an existential war for Europe, then we have to get serious in resourcing Ukraine, in resourcing ourselves here, in NATO countries, increasing defense spending, because the world is not getting safer. If you look at the number of NATO, European member states' defense budgets, it's roughly 65 billion a year. That's less than Ukraine received in military assistance last year. That's less than Russia spends on defense. So I don't think with this kind of resourcing we'll be able to stand against Russia for too long.
For now, there's less and less credible opposition to Vladimir Putin inside Russia. 4 years ago, he changed the constitution, removing the limit on how many terms a president can serve. This fifth victory will see him remain in the Kremlin until 2030, when many think he'll almost certainly stand again. Simon Newton, Forces News. Thanks for watching. For more from Forces News, like and subscribe to our channel.